Hello, hello, hello. Good evening and welcome to the live. Thank you guys for joining me. We're going to talk a little bit about marriage and medicine because I have not done my review for the week. So we're going to do it tonight because I'm off tomorrow and I'm asleep. I might get up a little early. I don't know. But I wanted to get this live out of the way. I should have done it earlier in the week, but other things have been popping up. Remember to please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Fair use disclaimer: some material in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of commentary, a little bit of criticism, and moving on off the board. Hope you guys had an opportunity to watch Married to Medicine. It was a little bit, it was a good episode, I would say. It was, I wouldn't say a filler episode, but it wasn't like some of the other dramatized episodes. This one was a very good episode. It did what it gave what it needed to give. It did what it needed to do. And we were able to move forward to whatever's going to be going on next. Good evening, Pretty Riri Speaks. Thanks for joining the live. Remember, everything I'm going to say tonight, all views expressed in this live are alleged. They're in my opinion, and they're all for entertainment purposes. We're just down here to talk about this show because I think it's a great show. It's one of my very favorite shows on TV, and it comes on Bravo every Sunday. Here it comes on at 8 Central Standard Time. Not sure what it may be in your city, but if you have never watched it, I would admonish you to check it out. See what it's all about. I actually enjoy it. This is season number 12, episode number 6, and the title of this episode was called All in the Family. And I think the title was perfect because on this episode, they had what they considered a family reunion, which I thought was really, really good. The episode opens up with Dr. Jackie. She's in scrubs and she's walking down the hospital hallways with a thing of blankets in her arm. And she's saying, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm about to go lay down. She says all babies need to be asleep inside the uterus or out. And I guess she had had a long night at the at her actual practice or at the hospital, probably delivering babies. If you know OBs, GYNs, they are normally on call because they have to deliver so many babies. And I'm trying to get my TV to get on this crazy episode so I can use it as a guide, kind of. But so that is where the episode actually opens. It opens up pretty good. It then goes from there to, give me 1 second, you guys. I don't know why my TV is tripping. Season 1. I do not want to watch nothing in season 1. There we go. I do. There we go. Right there. So I guess she's going to go sleep in the hospital quarters. Most hospitals have rooms for ER doctors to rest and also for OBGYNs to rest in the middle of, if they're in the middle of delivering. Hello, Satin Baby Doll. Good evening, LadyRo mods and chats. I'm so glad to see you here. That's me, AD. Hey, LadyRo and chat. Hit the like button, please. Thank you. Please hit that like button. Satin Baby Doll speaking. Look who's still awake, Queen Script. Hello, LadyRo in chat. Thank you, you ladies, for joining. So hospitals provide quarters for the doctors to get rest when they are in between shifts. ER docs, you think that they're staying awake all night just walking up? No. They have quarters to go lay down and go to sleep. So they are normally laying down in between patients, especially if it's a slow night, and then they're awakened to come out to check on patients. They're allowed to rest. Next we see Angel. She's at work and she's going out and she's telling us that she's had a really, really tough, rough night. She said she had a patient that didn't want to keep his clothes on. As we know, Angel is a registered nurse, and I'm not sure where she works. She works at one of the hospitals in Atlanta. And she also I think has a line of scrubs. I believe I read that she had a line of scrub wear that she actually uses. Now give me 1 second. I don't know why that's not playing. It's playing a whole different episode. Okay. Um okay, it's going back. I'm sorry. And then we see Dr. Mimi. She actually is pulling up at her house. She has Stevie in the back seat, and as she's getting out, Stevie's having a little meltdown, and she goes, comforting him, getting him out of the car, taking him into the house, and he's, "Where's Daddy?" And she goes, "Daddy's not home. He'll be home in a moment." And then we see Steve pretty much pulls up right after she got here. At least it looks like. I take that back. I don't went ahead of myself. Dr. Mimi is saying today was rough. And then she goes by Steve's office and his door is closed. She goes in and she goes, "Oh, he's gone." And she said today was a day they needed all hands on deck. And she says, "Pray for people." And those people would be me. I am the people. So apparently she had a rough day. Then we go to Quad's house. And Angel is already there. She said she's expecting some ladies to come over. Next, we see Dr. Heavenly arrive. Then Contessa arrives with a teddy bear that she's wrapped up, and they start discussing Quad's weight gain. You can see that she's gained a lot of weight, but she's taking a lot of hormones and steroids to try to prepare her body for a baby. So that's part of the thing. When you take steroids, you gain weight. Not because you're trying to, it just happens. And then we see Quad. Quad is telling the ladies that she has 4 eggs that they've harvested in Ghana, and they've been fertilized. And she was talking about the process of how they call her and they tell her the stages or what's going on with the eggs. She says she's praying that they'll be blessed with an embryo. I'm praying that too. But as we see at the end of the episode, hey Symmetry, what you still doing up, girl? We see at the end of the show that the embryos are not viable. So next we go. King joins Cecil and Eugene at the barber shop. The guys are asking King when he returned from Ghana because apparently he missed our last little get together they had. And he said it was on yesterday. He explains to the guys that this was supposed to be a one trip, and this had turned into 3 trips, I believe. He said it turned into more. I'm sorry, it turned into more like 5. Cecil says, "Well, that's a lot." And King says it's taken a lot of time away from work, time away from my daughter. And it's like starting all over. And Cecil says, "We've seen you supporting Quad during this whole thing." And I put in my notes, King don't want no more kids. He hadn't said it yet, but child, he's giving me I am over the children. King says it's a lot catering to someone's needs and neglecting your own needs at the same time. And then they go over to the confessional and it's King and his Quad, and he's saying he has to be there for her to support her and put his own feelings aside. And Quad is saying that's not fair. And King says, "No, that's not fair, but and it may not be right, but it's what's needed." And then we go back to the barbershop scene. And Cecil says, "You have to learn as a mate, there's a time and place for every discussion." And you guys, I saw this and I snapped a picture. And I actually saw this on, I think this looks like an Instagram photo. Or Facebook, one of them. And I thought, probably YouTube. I don't know. It's one of them. But look at the space between these two. They're not up on each other like a loving couple. They're just kind of there. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't get, I don't know. I just get kind of like King's over it. Queen Script said, "King said I tried." He did try. We cannot say he did not. He did try. And I think, I'm not sure that that's a good thing that he tried and they were not successful and he should give. I don't know what the answer is to it. I don't want to tell her to not keep trying, but you have a man who seems like he's over it. And he thought it was going to be a one-time thing. Turns out to be 5 times, and then you have to keep going back and forth. Said baby doll said, "I feel bad for Quad." I do too. I do too. And I think this is a lesson for young girls who are busy building their career, that if you want children later in life, or you think you may want children later in life, that you need to harvest your eggs while you're still quite young and your eggs are viable. Me and my daughter were actually discussing, why um, Quad's eggs may have not be viable. Number one, she's 45. That's one issue. Number two, she has spent several years probably on contraceptives. We know that when she was with Dr. G, she didn't want to have children by him. We actually saw her going to the doctor to get contraceptives. So this is just one of the things that the body reacts as we age, as females. As we age, our body starts slowing down its manufacturing of eggs. It's not going to help you kick those eggs out of that fallopian tube to go down into be fertilized. One of the things that I really believe, again, that I think this should be a lesson to a lot of young ladies, that if you want a child and you're busy working on your career and not so busy trying to get married, to go ahead and harvest those eggs and put them away. I think we saw, is it Simone Redwine? I believe she's done that. We saw that actually. She talked about it. Not so much saw it, but she talked about it actually on her YouTube channel, which I believe that young women should do. If you are able to produce eggs and later you may want children, even if you don't carry them, someone else do, you should really harvest them quite young so that you can have good, viable eggs, even if you wait 10 years down the line to actually use those eggs. So we go back to Quad's house. Quad asked the ladies what did they have going on while she was in Ghana, and Contessa said they made some handbags, although it turned into a feud between Dr. Heavenly and Toya. And we all know how that ended last week. Let's see. Pretty Riri said King wants to play with cars, not more children. I agree. I think King, of course, he has a child, and he wasn't married to the child's mother, is what I take. I'm not sure. I'm just making a speculation. So this is alleged. But he may have had to pay child support. Who knows what his life looks like with that daughter. So with that being said, sometimes when you have a child that's not in your home, it kind of feels like you're being pulled in a lot of different directions. And then if your first experience is that, it doesn't make you willing to do it again. And not always. Queen Script said they found an old scene where Dr. Simone warned Quad. Oh, wow. I wish I had known that before I went live. I would have pulled it up. But Quad should have been, when she was back with Dr. G, she should have been harvesting her eggs. Even if she did not want to have babies, or at least as soon as they divorced, she should have harvested her eggs. She was still in her 30s when they divorced. Maybe I would have got those eggs put away. Are they engaged? No, they're not engaged. In fact, I don't even think they're together anymore, because I saw King on Instagram recently. Someone was filming him, which was a lady, because she was behind the camera talking, but the silhouette of her, she had short hair. So that definitely was not Quad. And she didn't even have Quad's figure. She was quite thin. She was a small frame lady. So I don't think they're even together. But that's just speculation as well, allegedly. What was that? Okay, Dr. Heavenly says that Toya said she talked about her husband, and Heavenly said, y'all talked about my child. That's me. AD said, I was wondering that were they still together. I was wondering that too, but he takes I don't know if he thinks he's a glamour guy. This just made him very famous. I'm not sure. But I would say he takes a lot of pictures and posts them to Instagram. And so on this particular picture he posted, he was getting out of I want to say a Rolls. I may be wrong, but I think he was getting out of a Rolls Royce. And when he got out of it, excuse me. Oh, Lord, I'm yawning. When he got out of the Rolls Royce, it was a lady taking a video of him. So apparently, the scene was already set up when he got out. She took a picture, but her silhouette, it was a white car. Her silhouette was in the window, in the door frame. And whoever it was, you could tell they had a short cut because the sides were completely down and their figure was quite small. We know what quad shape is. Pretty Riri Speaks said, that's interesting. He may feel a bit taken advantage of, but that's just my opinion. I think he had an opportunity to say no. He chose. Because I wouldn't. If I didn't want a child, no one could convince me otherwise. I don't know. I'm very headstrong too. I don't understand people who, in particular, go for things that they know may not be self-serving. Symmetry says she had some reproductive surgery back when she was on Sisters. Right, she did. I remember that. And I want to say I remember an episode where she actually went to, was it Dr. Jackie? Yes, I believe she went to Dr. Jackie. She was still with Dr. G, and she was having some fibroids. But she got some pills while she was there, some contraceptive pills. So Quad, I don't know. I wish she had retrieved her eggs, because I see that she wants to be a mom now. And I think she was very, very good to her nieces and nephews. And I think that's kind of maybe what caused her to may want to have more children. I'm not sure. You said, that's me, AD. I saw that on Instagram, and people in his comments were asking him where was Quiet. Exactly. That was the same one I saw. In fact, before we get off this live, we go to his Instagram and look and see what he got on there. But I don't think he has any. I personally don't think he and Quiet are still together. But then, we thought that again, and they popped back up on this season of Married to Medicine. So maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. But it doesn't appear on his Instagram they're together. You never see them in pictures, and this does not look like a couple that is actually together. It's my opinion. Dr. Evelyn says that Toya said she had talked about her husband, which she had talked about Dr. Eugene, and Heavenly said, y'all talked about my child. They insert a text that said, you should focus on your family instead of on the cameras. I'm sure they need the same support from you. So apparently that is what Toya responded with. Last week we got what Heavenly had said to Toya, but this is apparently a response. So we're going back and forth with these silly text messages. Angel attempts to defend Toya, which I think is weird, because we all know that Toya, once she gets a chance, she's going to get Angel, and she got a little bit in this episode. But Heavenly shuts her down. When she tries to defend Toya, Heavenly just shuts her down. And Contessa says that Toya didn't say one word about Heavenly's son. So they both agreed that there wasn't anything said about Heavenly's son, but I guess Heavenly figured that's where that conversation was going. Angel said that Heavenly is full of shit. Contessa said, why are we talking about your son when it happened years ago? And Heavenly said, because it was in the blogs recently. Contessa then says, I wonder if Simone looked it up and told the blogs. Everyone laughed except Quad. And if you looked at Quad's face, her eyes got really big, like, what? And then they go over to a scene where Simone is telling them that she looks up things, right? And I think, someone asked her in the group, why do you do that? She said, because I can. And Quad was present when Simone said that she looks up things. So, Heavenly then says, Simone looks up everyone's stuff. Then Heavenly tells Quad that Simone said if she knew the VIN number of Quad's Rolls Royce, she would have looked that up as well. And then Simone, when they pan over, Simone said, I look up everyone's stuff. And Quad is the one who asked her why. She said, because I can. And I said, throw Simone out of the friend group. Simone should be concerned about her sons and delivering babies, not other people's belongings. And I wanted to share this. Let me see if I still have it pulled up. I think it was on YouTube. Give me 1 second, you guys. I think it was on YouTube. I think Carlos King has a Patreon, and he He posts a lot of stuff on there. I want y'all to see this right here. He actually did an interview. I guess he does reviews on Patreon with Heavenly. So he actually, excuse me, let me pull this up first. He actually did, I guess, this week's review with Heavenly, and Heavenly shared this information with him. Let's see if we can get it to play.
I kept saying Simone was a hater because I don't know if it came up yet. Simone looking people's stuff up. Did they talk about that?
Yeah, so is this true? The burning question is this. Is it true that Simone looks up information on people?
Absolutely, I will tell you this. She looked up my house, right? And she said your house is worth this, but it ain't her looking it up. It has to be Cecil, because I know Simone cannot go through MLS and look shit up. She's not doing it. It's
allegedly. All this is alleged, and this is all in Dr. Heavenly's opinion. I ain't nothing to do with it. I'm just invoking my fair use to replay this and speak on it, have some commentary.
Cecil doing it, right? I'm gonna just say what it is. She's not gonna say it's Cecil, but I promise God it's Cecil. Okay, so she said your house is worth this, and I said, Simone, I have 47 acres. That means I have 3 addresses. Did you look up all 3 addresses? Oh no, I didn't look up. Well, bitch, go back. You know what I'm saying? She looked at
So Simone is looking up information, but the information she's putting in wrong information and getting wrong information.
That's the stuff. She looked up that new building Contessa was bragging about, not bragging, but she told us she bought a new building, right? I'm happy for her. Anything somebody get real estate they can appreciate, I'm happy for them. If they, you know what I'm saying? If they like it, I love it. Contessa bought a building. She already got her house, right? Beautiful house in, in a nice area. She bought the building. Simone looked the building up and told all of us that Contessa was lying. She did not own that building. Simone had the address wrong. So my whole thing is, listen, so we were talking about it. We were kicking like, Simone, you looking up people's shit, but it's wrong, right? And then Simone said, well, I look up car shit. If you give me the VIN number, I look up that Rolls Royce because I want to see who name is in. So, I'm a messy bitch. So I told her. Yes, I told her. But they messy too. They start talking about my son, and Simone set her ass up and they say, yes, it's true. So they be mad at me for telling it, but they're not mad at themselves for doing it. I'm tired of trying to be friends with people that's not really my friend. I'm tired of making up, trying to be cordial.
So if you want to see the remainder of that is on Carlos King's Patreon. I thought that was interesting that Simone likes to look up stuff and she don't be having her information right. I thought that was super crazy. Anywho, we move over to Dr. Mimi. She arrives home with little Stevie in the back seat who's having a complete meltdown. And she goes to the back door. I'm sure they have child safety locks on the car. And she gets little Stevie out. And I was wondering why he sits opposite seats of her, but I'm sure it's because she said that when she's driving that you never know what you're gonna feel, like something to come swirling out of the back, hit you upside the head. So I noticed he was sitting opposite of her in the car, and she arrives home. He's having a meltdown, of course. He's sitting in the floor. And soon after she arrives, Steve comes in, but Steve takes over. He takes over with the son. Steve tells us that Savannah is at Dr. Mimi's mom's. She's been there for a week, and they think it's important that they give her a break from her brother because they said that he can be a lot. And she's a 7-year-old, and they want her to be able to live some type of normalcy that does not include having her brother around. Because, of course, she's a kid, and this wasn't something that she signed up for. I think that's very no. But she also, this is her brother. I think she should be able to have some type of, and I guess she does have some family time with them, but then I think it's okay that they give her time with her mama or grandma or grandmother without having her brother there. I love the fact that Steve is so hands-on. I just love, it's something about them. I just love this family. They're becoming my favorite family, believe it or not. Even Queen Scripture says, I really enjoy this family. Me too, Queen Script. I really enjoy this family. The Sanders, they discuss that they want their daughter to be a kid and not have to worry about her brother. I said, I love the dynamic that the Sanders have. Mimi said she had a really hard day, and then they give us a glimpse of her day. And I was telling my daughter, I said, as a therapist, it has to be weight, she has to carry a lot of weight because you have a home, you have a husband, you have 2 children, one of your kids has autism, and then you go listen to other people's problems. So she tells us that she has a women's clinic, I guess, in her therapy session. I mean, in her office rather, and they show us a glimpse of a young lady coming in, I guess, who had lost a child, and she's just really talking about postpartum depression, and she's just pouring it out to Dr. Mimi, and she's crying. And while Dr. Mimi's sitting there talking to Steve, she goes, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. And she starts tearing up and starting to cry. And Steve said, no, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. He tells Dr. Mimi, he said, I want you to relax. I want you to come home and I want you to relax. And at that time, Stevie's in the living room with the lamp. She was, oh, he got the lamp. He got the lamp. He's like, don't worry about it. I got him. There's nothing in his house he can tear her up. And he brings him into the room where they are, and he won't let the lamp go, so they just bring the lamp with them. I thought that was a really beautiful scene. I love this family. Sad Baby Doll says every therapist needs a therapist. I totally believe that. I agree, because I cannot imagine going through your own daily crap and then having to go home and deal with your own family crap, especially when it seems like they have I'm not gonna say they have the weight of the world on their shoulders, but what I will say is they have a lot going on, especially with a special needs child. And I really, when I say I really enjoy the dynamic family that is the Sanders, I love the Sanders family. So far, it used to be, I love Cecil and Simone family, and baby, I put them off the rocker a few years ago, and I like Dr. Mimi. Now, that might change next season. It might change later in this season once we get to know them better. But right now, I really enjoy the Sanders family, which is Dr. Mimi and Steve. Excuse me. Dr. Heavily takes us with her to this restaurant as she meets her half-brother, Travis, who is her dad's child. Dr. Heavily does this timeline while she's sitting there talking to Travis. And she goes, well, I know my parents were married 8 years before I was born. And he says, I'm 59. She goes, I'm 54. So that means Daddy was a Rolling Stone. Everywhere he laid his head was his home. And Dr. Heavenly says, my dad was cheating on my mom. Dr. Heavenly said that her dad was in the military and he traveled a lot. And she asked her brother Travis, she goes, did you ever meet him? And what was he like? He said, well, he was nice. He was cool. And he said, but we would always know when he came through that he wouldn't stay long. So apparently Travis ain't the only child. That's what I got from that. I'm not sure. This is all alleged, but I believe that there must be other siblings. I don't think Travis is alone, because he said when he would come through, we knew we would say to each other, oh, he won't be here long. I thought that was weird. Dr. Heavenly said her dad was a deacon at the church. She said you wouldn't have ever thought that he would have had another family. Dr. Heavenly mentions to her brother Travis that her son had left home. And he asked him why. She told him he got arrested and he left and she hadn't heard from him. And her brother said, I have a son doing the same thing. He just leaves and we don't hear from him. And Dr. Heavenly said, shoot, I might go get my boy. I'm like, that ain't the word she said. She said, shoot, I might go find my damn son. I thought that was hilarious. Heavenly is at home trying to cook some mac and cheese. She calls Dr. Jackie and asks Dr. Jackie how to cook this mac and cheese. And she says they're having a mac and cheese cook-off. Next, we go to Cecil, who is making mac and cheese. He and Simone are in the kitchen. And he says that his mac and cheese comes from a long family history from Marshall, Texas, child, which is country. So if he get it from Marshall, Texas, baby, it must be good, because they got the ladies with them big arms that can do some really good stir. Next, we go to Toya and Eugene's house, and their son Ashton is in the kitchen. He's making a roux for his mac and cheese. Baby, he was getting this stuff together. And we see Eugene's mom, Evelyn, in the kitchen cutting up something. I kept thinking, who is that? Is that their maid? Y'all, when they put that sign up there and said Evelyn, Dr. Eugene's mom, I'm like, this lady ain't said a word. They got her in here. Look, Toya act like she is, like she's just in there instructing people. And the lady looks like she was cooking. I was like, is this the maid? Baby, it was given. Okay, who was this lady? Riri's laughing. Child, I was like, who is this? I love me some Dr. Heavenly. You know what that Sam baby though? I do too, but don't tell nobody. Because people they can't stand, especially them meters. Baby, they called her Eugene. Total disrespect. Dr. Heavenly went to school. She went to school. And after she graduated with her bachelor's degree, guess what? She went to dental school for another 4 years. She has a lot of education under her belts and she earned her doctorate. And I think it's very disrespectful for people to call Melanie Cherie, someone with an honorary degree, a doctorate, and you refuse to call Dr. Heavenly a doctor. She is a doctor. Okay, how many times you don't want to say, you want to say Elaine, or she don't act like she is a physician. She's a doctor. She's a doctor. Trust me. She may have DDS behind her name, but baby, it stands for doctor. Doctor somebody. All right. So I thought that was kind of weird that they over there calling that woman Elaine, but that's Dr. Heavenly to me. Back to the story with Eugene and his mom, baby. I want them next time to have Eugene's mother out front, because that lady really, she looked like she was the maid. She did not look like she was somebody, mama that lived in that house. She looked like she was there to help. Back to Dr. Simone and Cecil. They are discussing how Dr. Simone is not feeling appreciated at her home, and Cecil's cooking, so he just let Simone do whatever, and he's just saying something every now and then. Simone said neither Cecil nor her boys have ever come to her and asked how they could take something off her plate and make her life a little easier. She said no one gives a F about her. And Cecil said, who are you talking about? Have you ever been in the middle of doing something and someone's talking and you're like, who are you talking about? Especially when they get weird. You're like, what? Who are you talking? That's what he gave me when he said that. Who are you talking about? It's ignorant and disrespectful, Dr. Heaven. Thank you, Queen Script. It is ignorant and disrespectful when you disrespect someone's initials. Heavenly went to school and earned her doctorate, whether you like it or not. You should not be walking around calling her Elaine. You should call her Dr. Heavenly. It's just a matter of respect. It is just a matter of respect. And if I hear you hollering at Dr. Melanie Cherie Holt, then you need to be saying Dr. Heavenly, because she actually earned hers. She went to school, sat down, took all the tests, and I want most of you out here that's saying this ignorant stuff, I want you to go to medical school and see how many tests you pass, because you got to take a test to enter, test in the middle, test when you graduate. Baby, medical school is not easy. My best friend is a physician, MD at that. And we've been best friends since 4th grade. When she was telling about all the stuff she had to do in medical school, I was like, girl, I'm going to pray for you, because I don't know if I could have done all that. Take a test to enter, and then you got to take it. So then you got to do 2 years of residency. Child, going to medical school is hard, because you do your 4 undergrad, 4 medical, 2 a residency. That's a lot of school. That's actually 10 years post-grad. 10 years from high school that you have to spend getting more education. 6 years post-grad. It's too much. So I just feel like it's very disrespectful when you walk around here calling people with honorary degrees doctor, and you fail to call people with an actual doctoral degree a doctor. Do you know that Black people only make up 1% of all doctoral degrees, and you sitting around here being disrespectful? That chaps my eye. It's a hard job. I have a cousin who has a doctorate. He has a PhD, a sister who's working on a PhD. And whenever my cousin walks in and says, my name is Dr. So-and-so, guess what? She's earned that. Whether or not we think it's arrogant or not, and we think that she's our cousin and we shouldn't have to say it, she earned that. She earned that PhD behind her name. Every letter, she earned it. Man, please. I never respect somebody with an honorary degree more than I respect someone who actually sat down, did the work, and earned it. Moving forward. So Simone clarifies. I'm sorry. Cecil said, who are you talking about? He says he is willing to step up. He said, whatever you need, I'm willing to step up and do that. And Simone clarifies that she's talking about the boys, but she's taking it out on Cecil. The thing is, she wants those boys to respect her. And I don't know, it's because she worked so much that they don't really have that kind of relationship. But I think taking it out on Cecil is just a bit much. I don't know. I just know that marriage is hard, and you just can't make it harder than what it is. And she says she appreciates Cecil and she appreciates what he does. But I really feel like she feels because he doesn't always have her back when it comes to the boys. That kind of drives her crazy. And I think it's just because he relates to the boys. I think that's the whole thing with him. He just relates to his boys. He then tells her if she can hurt his feelings, then he can hurt her feelings. He said, you just can't come in here and hurt my feelings and think that I can just take it. And so he told her again, he said, I'm willing to step up. I'm willing to do what you need and help you in any way that I can. And I think that's all he can do. He can't do any more than that unless you want to, make a couple of laps around the house. I'm not quite sure. Unless you want him to beat those boys. But I think that she spoiled Michael. Even though she tells Michael he's entitled, but Michael is spoiled. And because I'm going to tell you this, you graduate from college and you tell me now you have a Jeep that you got brand new, but all of a sudden now you need a new car and then you end up with a Tesla, and that more than likely she is part of the problem. Okay. She is part of the problem. Yes, Queen Script, Black people with PhDs or with doctorates make up 1% of the doctoral degrees. Let me see if I can Google that just to make sure that let me ask chat GPT, what is the percentage of African Americans with doctoral degrees? 1.6%. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. 1.6. We don't even make up 2. 1.6% of African Americans make up, according to the U.S. Census Bureau Education Attainment Estimates, about 1.6% of Black adults aged 25 years old in the U.S. hold a doctoral degrees. Example, PhD, EDD, which is educational doctoral. Yes. And then it says, that's overall. 1.6 is the overall percentage of Black Americans with a doctoral degree. Yearly earnings are about 7.7, but overall, 1.6%, which is not a big number. So if you're going around giving honorary degrees to people and you got the audacity to call them a doctor, child, back that up and turn around. You call the doctors a doctor. And then if you're going to recognize honorary degrees, then you call them a doctor. But don't disrespect those who have worked for it by not calling them doctor. We move forward. It's the day of the family reunion. Jackie and Heavenly are talking about the reunion and how they've set up. I think there's like a bounce house. It won't stay inflated. So she was like, get rid of the bounce house. That's what Dr. Jackie says. Get rid of that bounce house. Heavenly says, Contessa ain't coming, so we don't have to worry about it. Someone taking all the food home. And then Heavenly is the blue t-shirt family, the darker blue. Simone is orange. The Harrises are yellow. And then they show Toya getting out of the car. And Toya said, this is a Heavenly event. There's a $2 blow up over there in the corner. And Eugene goes, oh my God, child, I don't know why she had to do. Toya just super negative. And that's why when these women get on the Toya, I'll never have nothing to say, because Toya be doing way too much. I put in my notes, Toya came in being messy. Toya asked Heavenly, was her other son the only one that showed up? And she's pointing at him. Is he the only one that showed up? She had already said Alora had something to do, and she hadn't talked to her oldest son. But Toya made it a point to scream this out. They show Heavenly and Dr. Damon sitting inside. Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon sitting in confessional. And Dr. Heavenly says, her man's, his little member is still little. Right, Daddy? And Dr. Damon goes, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was so funny. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Don't put me in that mess. Then we go to Dr. Mimi and Dr. Steve come in. I mean, Dr. Mimi and Steve come in. They're in green t-shirts. And Steve tells us that he doesn't know who his dad is. They go into the confessional. And I don't know what was the story about? The Travis, I believe. And they was talking about the daddy. And Steve's like, yeah, you got jokes. Because Mimi was like, is that your dad? And she was like, yeah, you got jokes. You know I don't know who my dad is. And I thought that was kind of unfair, but she said it, baby. Maybe that's the relationship they have. We do know that Dr. Simone, Cecil brother came. Now they showed Cecil brother last week, but this week Cecil brother looked totally different. Girl, that's a tall glass of water. He's a good looking man. Cecil's brother David really looks good. Let me rewind it because I'm watching it while I'm talking, y'all. But he got at the backseat of that Tesla. Dude he's a nice looking guy, and he's single. Now, who the lady was with him with the short hair, I don't know. But David looks better than Cecil. Child, let me find out. I have to send my girls down there to get hooked up with him with Mr. David. Anywho, moving forward. Quad and King arrive in a Ferrari, and of course, Toya got something to say about them in the Ferrari. And they asked Quad, did y'all drive the Ferrari because you're afraid that Dr. Simone would get the VIN number and look it up? She was like, no, we have Ferraris. We got this. We drive that. All of them are expensive cars. I thought that was hilarious. They asked Quad, why do you need so many T-shirts? And Quad says, oh, my family coming in deep. And baby, they came in deep. Quad's family was all in purple. And Heavenly said Quad brought the entire city of Phoenix. The entire city of Memphis with her. Angel and her family arrived. They're in light blue. And when Angel arrived, Simone's son Michael asked Simone, who is that? Is she married? Who is she married to? And Simone said, nobody. And I thought to myself, I wonder why. Was he trying to hook up with her? Child, that was another good funny one. And Jackie and her family arrived, and they're wearing pink. Toya told Dr. Heavenly's brother Travis arrives a little bit later, and of course she introduces him to everybody. Heavenly's excited to have her brother there, and she introduces him to Toya. And she makes this comment. She said, Heavenly told me that she only has sisters. And he responded, he said, well, I ain't no sister. I ain't no sister. You said he's nice. Look, he is nice. But I'm telling you, this picture when they got out the car, that man, he's tall, number one. Look like he's taller than Cecil. Cecil tall, but look like he is taller than Cecil. If I could, I will rewind and take a picture and put it up here for us to look. But I might just do that later. He's tall and he's good looking, at least from that picture. It looked like he was good looking. Now, when Quad then pulled up in the Ferrari, why were the windows fogged? Or was that the seats? Because the windows looked like they were fogged. Let me rewind this again. Now, the windows is fogged. The windows is fogged. What was they doing in the car? Anywho, they ain't none of my business. Neither is my problem. They start. Toya asked, you want us to start, placing our votes for the best mac and cheese? And said, yeah, and Toya started cheating. But I will say this, when Heavenly met her brother, she said, praise the Lord. When she said that, I said, ooh, some lightning gonna strike somewhere on this episode. Why at their family reunion some lightning strikes? And they all had to go in. I thought that was hilarious. At the end, they counted the points, and Ashton, which is Toya's son, he actually won the mac and cheese contest. The family reunion looked like a lot of fun. It seemed like everybody had a good time. They showed them playing spades, playing dominoes, doing tic-tac-toe. I saw Connect Four, the big Connect Four game. They looked like they had just a good family fun, which is I love a good family reunion. We have one every other year in my family, and we have a good time. Angel and Bernard are just sitting outside of because when it started raining, they went inside. And they're sitting outside, and Toya goes out there, and she says, what are y'all doing out here? And she asks Angel, who is this? And Angel says, this is Bernard. And so first Toy says, I put Dr. Bernard, but she asked Bernard, what family do you belong to? And that's what Angel said, oh, this is my friend. And so she goes, your friend? She goes, well, Toya asked Bernard, she goes, Bernard, how long have you been talking to her? And he goes, about a decade. And Toya says, so this is your woman? And before he could respond, she goes, oh, you found out I was about to hook her up. And Dr. Bernard says, word? Toya says, she told me she wanted me to hook her up. And Toya said, Bernard, do you want to be with her? And I said in my notes, Toya is tacky for sure, because all of that was unnecessary and it was messy. Angel says, Toya done broke every girl code, which she did. Child, and then we move on down the road. We get over to Quad and King. They're at her house. Quad's in the restroom. King's somewhere else in the house. And she calls him on the phone and she tells him she has the results of her egg retrieval. And she wanted him to go over it. And she asked him if he wanted to read it. And he told her no, she could read it. Yeah, let's get this show on the road. So King and Quad, they go inside the bedroom. They sit down to go over the results. Only one of the eggs had moved in stages. The other 4 had not moved in stages, and even the stage that one egg moved in was very slow, so that meant none of her eggs were viable. Quad said she feels like a failure, and King told her that she was not a failure. King said he wants her to think about her mental health and if they should continue with doing this. And so Quad also said, well, if this is costing too much, I'll take over the cost. He said, well, it's not only the cost, you have the travel expenses. He named all the things. He said, but I want you to really think about if this is something you want to continue. Now, why she don't do it here, and why Quad is not doing it in America, I don't know. Because I think once it didn't work there, I would have taken my chances if I wanted to continue with Dr. Jackie to keep it going. You said she lacks coot. Baby, she lacked more than coot. When I say she's a ditzy chick, she's just ditzy. I don't even think there's a name for what she does, because she just started annoying people the whole family reunion, but it seems like they had a good time regardless of what she was doing. And even at the end, she asked her kids would they dance with her. I was like, girl, don't nobody want to fool with you, not even your own children. And then at the end, she tells her husband, oh, no, aren't you ready to go? And he's like, yeah, just get her out of here, take her home, just doing too much. So we go back to King and Quad, and Quad again. King tells her again, I want you to think about your mental health, because of course this is going to take on your mental health as well as all the other things, because you didn't take the advice of others telling you to store your eggs before. They were no good. I put in my notes, King is over this. He said he was okay with not having any more children. And when someone tells you they're okay with not having any more children, now he told the men he had already planned his life not to have any more kids. Quad is the one who, she doesn't have any children. She wanted kids, and I guess he wanted to help her have a child. He also told her that it was an expensive process. And she goes, I know we only plan to go one time, and we've gone several times. I'll pay for it or whatever. And King asked her, he said, when does it end? And she goes, why are you doing this to me? And we insane. Insane. We're over. You know what I'm saying? I really think that Quad should, if she wants to continue this egg retrieval or whatever she's doing, she should do it in America. I really felt like once it didn't work in Ghana the first time, I probably wouldn't have went. I would have taken my chances, especially if it's super expensive, taking my chances in America, because the egg retrieval by itself is expensive. We do know that there are other people who have gone through this and gotten it even successfully. Again, Quad's 45. Now, what that looks like for her, I don't know, but we do know that over the age of 40, Harry is but child, These women in my family be having babies well into their 40s, baby. Well into their 40s. I have a cousin my age had a baby at 44. Baby, ain't no way. I said 44. Yeah. No. Two, 8, 6. Yeah, she was 44 when she had that baby. Child, I told her if I was 44 and pregnant, I'd probably get on top of the house and jump off. Jump off, girl. You got 2 grown kids and then you starting all over. She was like, I don't know how I got caught up. You got caught up. You definitely got caught up. But I really pray for Quad that she can get a baby. If it means adoption, I don't know if she's open to adoption. But what I do know is that what she's dealing with is going to be a long road if she wants to continue this. Whatever that looks like. Again, what King say, when does it end? And it may never end if you are never satisfied with what the results are going to be. I really, again, wish she had harvested her eggs, but she didn't. And that's water under the bridge. So prayers for Quad, and that she is made whole if she has a baby or if she doesn't, that it does not affect her mental. Anywho, you guys, I have really enjoyed this live tonight. I enjoy Married to Medicine is one of my favorite shows out here on the TV screen. Trying to think, is there anything else I want to talk about? There is one thing I want to talk about before we move forward. The other day, I did a live about Kimmy and Maurice. I did an extension of my review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I did it because I felt as though the conversation needed to be had about how far women go when it comes down to what we'll do for our man, our husband, our love, whatever partnership we're in. How far are we willing to forgive or endure at the hands of our lover, right? What is that mental abuse like, so on and so forth. I had someone say, that I heard someone say that this was Kimmy's karma for not helping Mel. I'm not sure how she was supposed to help Mel, but this is my platform, right? This is LadyRo's page. So I want to make it very, very clear of some things. If Maurice is if he's her actual karma, then what was Martell to Mel? Was he her karma as well? We can't be making up things as we go along. Karma is the things you get for things that you do, things that you put out, right? I wouldn't say that Kimmy didn't help Mel. I'm not sure what you want her to do. If you want her to put her in the car and drive her off, maybe take her away from the world. I don't know what you want. Put her on a plane, fly her to Africa. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what kind of help you guys wanted. I'm really not. Then that's why the millimeters form. I'm not sure why y'all form, because the thought processes that y'all use sometimes is really, really strange. We have to keep blame where it belongs. And I'm just being very matter of fact, very honest. Fact that Mel husband cheated on her, Martell, was Martell's problem. It was Martell's fault. All of this was Martell. All of what it looked like to be a cheater, to have a baby outside of the family, outside of his wife, to be sleeping with someone else, all of that was a Martell issue. Now, Maurice want to have bang bang 3 or 4 times a day. Maurice having soft hands. All of that is a Maurice problem. I want you to say that it's a Maurice problem. Cheating, having a baby outside of your relationship, and having a side chick, all of that, Martell's problem. We as women are not going to carry the crown for these men who out here doing weird things, the things that are unseemly, the things that are unjust, the things that could cause and put my life in jeopardy. We're not going to take the blame. So stop trying to blame anyone for a man who went out of his marriage, out of his relationship, created another family, and was cheating on his wife. All of that lies in the hands of Martell Holt. Okay? Maurice and whatever he got going on, all of that lies in the hands of Maurice Scott. Right? My whole concern is when will women be able to stand up and stop taking the bull swanky from these men? That's all I was talking about. Now y'all want to sit up and say, "Oh, that's what Kimmy get." That's what, baby. Guess what? When your day coming? Because every dog got his day. And my mama used to say, a good dog got two of them. I would really, really think twice before I decided to rejoice in someone having an issue with their spouse or someone doing whatever with their spouse. When Martell was cheating on Mel, I was totally against it. I'm totally against any cheater. Martell Holt, whoever else that's doing it. Marsol if he cheating, Maurice if he cheating. I'm against anybody stepping outside of the relationship to cheat on their spouse. No one I know gloated in the fact that Martell cheated on Mel. No one gloated in the fact that Martell had a child while he created a child while still being married to his wife. I did not hear anybody gloating. What they said was that she was mean. She had pushed him away. I've heard those things. I don't subscribe to that because I feel like cheating is a choice. I really believe that. Cheating is a choice. He made a conscious decision to go out here. He didn't fall into someone else's vajayjay. He made a conscious decision to unbuckle his britches and implant himself. He did. So what I want us to do as ladies is stop blaming each other. That's what I want us to do. I heard my Queen Script said today while we were talking. It was either Queen Script or Sat Baby Doll. One or the other. We was talking earlier. And they said, we want to talk that Carlos King hates black women. Carlos King hates black women. What does that say about us? Because if Carlos King hates black women, do we hate black women as well? I don't know. I don't know what that answer is. But I will say this. We are some of the most detrimental people to our own race. Because we will try to read you down. We want to see what you got on. We want to talk about your clothes, talk about your hair. We want to talk about all the aesthetics instead of talking about who you are as a person. That's all I got to say about that. And I hope people really understand that. Do you understand what karma means? Maybe some of you need to study it, what karma means. I don't believe that Martell was Mel's karma, and I don't believe that Maurice is Kimmy's karma. I do not believe that. I believe karma comes from the things you put out here in this atmosphere. That's sowing and reaping. No one cheated on Mel but Martell. No one is doing whatever Maurice is doing to Kimmy but Maurice. You cannot claim that as a part of sowing and reaping because it's just not. It's really not. It's not. Sowing. That means the things that I put into the ground and I expect a harvest from. So if I put these bad seeds in the ground, I expect a harvest. You cannot expect someone else to take the blame for someone else's actions. You just can't, whether you like it or not. Now, I didn't see none of y'all going out here to stop Martell from cheating. So are y'all to blame as well? If Carlos King hates black women, so do black women. Black women hate black women. We got to stop that bull swanky. We got to be honest with each other. And if we're going to love one black woman, we got to be building up all the black women. We can't be pretending. That's it. That's all. Anywho, I'll be coming in the morning, talk about queendom and doing a little bit of talk about what's in the world news. I think we need some updates on what's going on out here in our country. Minnesota's, baby, it's getting rough in Minnesota. Be prayerful for every place in America. I saw in the newspaper or on the news, I said the newspaper, I read the news online for my current area, that the sheriff in our county has given the green light for ICE to come in and start doing what they got to do. So be prayerful, because I'm sure ICE is showing up in a lot of places and cities around this country. What does that look like for America? What does that look like for my neighbors? My neighbors on both sides are Hispanic, nice people. What does that look like? Does that look like one day I wake up and the house next door to me is surrounded by ICE agents? My street is blocked by ICE agents. What does that look like? And those are things that kind of get me worried. It just kind of gets me worried. And I think we should all be worried. I think we should all be concerned about what's happening in our world. Anywho, I don't want to bring the mood down, but I just felt like some things just have to be addressed. And that was one of those things. I don't like this karma thing. Y'all say what y'all want to say, but I really want, when you start using those words, I think we should at least think about what we're talking about. Karma is Kimmy. This is karma for Kimmy. Okay, well, Martell was Mel's karma. Does that, because that's essentially what you're saying. Does that make sense? Oh, Carlos hates black women. Well, so do black women, because we tear each other down. I heard Peach McIntyre say one day, she was live, and she said, the people who she had the most problem out of are always black women. The people who are calling CPS are black women. People who are doing it, black women. I'll tell you something, Peach McIntyre is not my favorite person. But you know what I do? I scroll past Peach McIntyre. I don't watch her content. If it's not something I want to engage in, I don't. But you guys will go and engage with crap so you can complain about it. That sounds like something up here in Rap Tight. But Chad, let me move on, because I digress. As we say, yeah, I hope and pray she has a baby too. Me too. I want her to have a baby. I think everybody should experience motherhood. It was a choice on his part. It was saddened. It was a choice on his part to unbuckle his britches and fall into it. So we can't blame nobody else for him cheating on his wife. That's me, AD said that part. These are real life relationships. Nothing new going on. They need to stop prophesying. Amen, Queen Script. Pretty Riri Speaks has some speak 100%. We got to stop this mess. We got to stop this mess. And I'm going to tell you something. There's so much going on within our own areas that we really don't have time for that. When I read that this afternoon, really online, about ICE agents being allowed to come into my county. My county is a pretty big county. It's a pretty big county seat. Pretty big seat. And to know that the sheriff, who is an elected official, has given the go-ahead to allow ICE to come in and start removing immigrants, illegal immigrants. Just makes me think, what does that mean? What does it mean for our country, for our city, for our state? What does it mean? I went and saw a patient today that can speak a lick of English. What does that mean for him? I don't know, because they're not only getting paid people with their illegal immigrants, they're getting people who are nationalized, people who have did what they're supposed to do, gotten their green card or gotten their citizenship. They are doing it to them too. So what does this look like for Americans? Again, neighbors, Hispanics. We live in a very nice suburb. What does that look like for our neighbors? I wonder that. I really, truly wondered. My neighbors across the street are Nigerians. What does that mean for them? Neighbor on this side are Somalian. What does that mean for them? I don't know. But I will tell you this. It's scary. We live in a very, very scary time. We need to be praying over our families, praying over our friends, praying over those that we love. For real, for real, for real. For real, for real. Anyway, if no one told you today that they love you, I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Before you go to bed tonight, pray. I believe Terrence made it home from the hospital. I think I saw that on his YouTube page. I haven't been over there a lot, but I have been kind of checking in and see how he's doing. So again, keep him in your prayers because we believe in God for complete healing. Whatever his body needs, we know that God is actually a healer, and we are going to continue to pray for him. Queen Script said this is something to talk about. I agree. I agree. We as women have got to stop. I imagine them snatching people out of the military, the ones that are here to protect us. You know what, Sam Baby Doll? That's what I've been thinking about. When I first, I'm not going to say that. I will say this. I have been told that if you are an illegal immigrant, this is what they've told Americans near and far. The fastest way to become a citizen is to join the United States military. What does that look like for our men and women who may not be a naturalized citizen that are in the military right now? What does that look like for them? Will they be snatched out of the military? Deported to Venezuela or wherever they're sending them? What does that look like? What does that look like for our neighbors? Your neighbor, my neighbors, people down the road from us. Our days of just getting in the car, going to work. What does that look like? Well, we as African Americans who are born here, we have to drive around with our birth certificate, passports, and the car with us. What does that look like for us? What does that look like? So that's the thing that I'm concerned about. What does the ICE being deployed here? Because I feel like if you are of YT descent or you look YT, they're gonna probably not bother you. But I'm a black woman. Will they bother me and then ask me, hey, where were you? Give me your papers. Show me your papers. Where were you born? I don't know. I just know that this is a scary time that we live in. We live in a very scary time. So, as Butterfly says, keep your head on a swivel. You got to keep your head on a swivel. Watch where you're going. Pay attention to your surroundings at all times. Again, if no one told you today they love you, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope you guys have a great night. All right?